Hello, YouTube. Today we are going over Shockcast, our Shock Amara. As with all of the elemental builds, we are doing the rule that whatever augment we're using, um, technically with Amara, your base before you pick an augment is Shock. So, blue tree is the last tree, Shock is blue. We have to cap out our blue tree. Go ahead and get into the items. So, for the main thing here, I am using Light Show, Plague Bearer, and Free Radical. If you prefer not using the Free Radical, I would advise swapping that out for the crit. The main thing that we are using the Free Radical here for is for the bossing and for Fight for Your Life. As always, I do put an EMP5 on my build specifically for movement speed. We are not shooting this at all. So the main thing that I wanted to take advantage of with Shock, sure, you could take advantage of the Revolter and get even more shock damage, but I wanted to showcase Phascast and the Terror Annoyance. So we have on our grenade, on action skill end, apply Terror to yourself every 3 seconds for the next 18 seconds, so we can get up to max Terror and take advantage of the buff that we get from the Old God, which will allow us to have extra shock damage, and the Anoint, while terrified, gain increased damage and fire rate. The more terror you have, the higher the bonus, so that we can get a bunch of extra damage and fire rate from just using our action skill with the action skill end of our terror. That was the main idea here, to kind of avoid those things like Frozen Heart and Revolter that we know are typically just great pickups on. For other weapons other than the 3 that I'm showcasing here in the build, you can pick up the Critical, which is great, Chaosin. The Cutsman is actually surprisingly good, combining the Phasecast and Terror Annoyance. Gibbs Worth, of course, is always great. A wonderful classic is the Plasma Coil. It's still just as crazy as it always has been. I did enjoy using the Contained Blast quite a bit. However, the Plague Bearer was just more consistent with its splash damage. The Star Helix is kind of fun, and the Brainstorm are kind of fun, but they're not extremely consistent. The idea with having the Phasecast Anoint on the weapons is to get the extra 250% weapon damage, combining with the extra damage we're getting from the Terror, so that we can basically just get a bunch of boosted damage after using our action skill. The Phazerker is a great thing to pick up here for all of that action skill cooldown that it gives, and running it with action skill cooldown is the preferred role. If you can get magazine size and weapon damage, that is terrific pickups. Snowdrift Victory Rush, so that we can get the extra movement speed and damage for that, is always great, with a little bit of action skill cooldown as well as the main role you're looking for. In the skill tree, we go 5 out of 5 and do harm so that we can get extra damage out of using our Phasecast. 3 in Fast Hands for the reload speed. 1 in Violent Tapestry for the status effect chance. 4 in Alacrity for the reload speed. 3 in Transcend for the critical hit damage. 3 in Restless for the action skill cooldown. 1 in Ascendant for the increase to our Expedite cooldown. 3 in From Rest for the fire rate. 3 in Laid Bare for the debuff to the enemies whenever we use our action skill. 3 to Wrath for the gun damage. 1 to Remnant as just a always pick up skill when you're this far down in the tree. It always does crazy damage, and especially in mobbing, just having an extra enemy just taken care of is very nice. 1 in Remnant so that we can cast our skill twice. In Red Tree, the 1 in Animus from our Phazerker. 3 in Steady Hands for the extra handling. 5 in Infusion so that we can get some extra action element damage. 5 in Tempest for the extra elemental damage. And because it gives extra shock damage, we're also getting 50% extra shock damage from this pickup. 3 in Wildfire for the chance for our status effect to spread. Typically I will pick up Dread because I do like using Ties That Bind on most of my Amaras because it's just an overall great mobbing pickup for Amara. However, it is a lot better to use Phascast for terror annoyance, especially while using the Phascast 250 anoint, so that you can combine those and get a bunch of extra damage from that. So we don't pick it up here. Free and indiscriminate for the ricochet chance. One in Deep Well, because we are using the elemental weapons, we get the extra magazine size. One in sustainment for the lifesteal. Or in Conflux for the extra effect for our status effect. And one in Forceful Expression for the bonus elemental damage. We pick up 3 in Personal Space, so that anytime we are close to an enemy, we get extra damage. And the 1 in Clarity is from our Berserker. 5 in Trust Yourself for the reload speed. 5 in Heavy Rain for the projectile speed and splash damage. And of course, we are picking up Expedite. For Phasecast, Pandava is going to be the preferred action skill to use because it gives you a lot of extra damage. You can even one-shot Wotan with Tandava. If you are going to go for the Tandava one-shot, I would advise using a 150-90, which is gain 150% increased weapon damage against enemies above 90% health on your Guardian Angel. So you can go ahead and get that one-shot Tandava on Wotan, which happens on the split. So basically you want to aim for where the brain is on the top or bottom half, hit that, and the way that Tandava works, the extra splash damage will take care of upper half and bottom half. As always, I like to point out that I do have all of the Guardian perks unlocked. If you don't have Hollow Point and you don't have Groundbreaker, you are going to see a difference in your damage. With that, guys, let's go ahead and showcase the build. I'll see you on the other side. Alright, guys, that has been Shockcast, our Shock Amara review on PC. There will be a link to the Discord down below where you can pick up a file to give this build a run. If you have anything specific you would like to see next, let me know. That, guys, I have been your local sexy SwinLaw. Stay classy, Pandora.